BowCrow is an unofficial peak sitting in between, you guessed it, Bow Peak and Crowfoot Mountain in Banff National Park between Hector and Bow Lakes. On March 10, 2019, Mike Mitchell and I completed a long-planned ski ascent. We crossed an untracked Hector Lake before starting up incredibly steep south access slopes to old moraines high above. After an exhausting 2.5 hours from the top of the access slope, we finally stood on the summit. Descent was much quicker, at least to Belfer Creek at the bottom of the access slope. The interminable slog across Hector Lake and endless return back up to Highway 93 was entirely in the dark. After a chilly ski down from the road, much further than I remembered, I started breaking trail down the lake in ankle-deep punchy snow. It was concerning how much effort the next 2 hours took, considering we were gaining about 0 meters of the 1,200 plus meters still in front of us.
Wow. Well, if nothing else, that is a view. Oh.
The next 2.5 hours were probably the toughest time I've had on skis. After breaking trail 8 kilometers across Hector Lake, I continued to break trail up some of the steepest, deepest avalanche terrain I've ascended. A delightful concoction of Christmas trees, tree wells, unconsolidated sections of knee to waist-deep snow, and exposed cliffs were just some of the complex terrain that we faced. By the time we finally broke through the cliffs and into more open treed terrain, I was thinking we had about a 5% chance of making the summit. Frankly, I was mentally and physically pretty much done for the day. Mike caught up with me and started breaking trail. I'm not sure where he found his mojo, but thank goodness he did. For the next 2.5 hours, Mike paid me back for the first part of the day and broke trail up the endless terrain between Crowfoot's east cliffs and BowCrow's impressive southern outliers. Just as Mike started to fade at the final summit block, I found my mojo back and took over the trail breaking duties up and over a steep roll in the south face towards the summit ridge. The wind was brutally cold at the summit, and it was after 1,800 hours when we started the descent back to our skis. The ski back down promised to be very quick, and it was. We were both too exhausted to ski it properly, but it sure as heck beat walking down.
Okay. Well, we don't know if there's cliffs down there.
I'm gonna go see the rock in the middle. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop right sort of right there.
Okay.
Darkness was settling in fast as we proceeded down a steep headwall to Belfer Creek far below. The next 2.5 hours to Highway 93 were interesting, to say the least. I went through the familiar exhaustion gamut on that brutally long exit in the dark, including full-on hallucinations and falling asleep and dreaming while skiing. The haunting call of some local owls bounced off the rock walls around the lake, while a sliver of moon and a gazillion stars winked down on us from high above. It was serenely beautiful, and it was pointedly brutal at the same time. If you've ever pushed yourself physically beyond what you should, you know exactly what I mean. As we took off our skis and prepared for the long drive home, a sanding truck stopped to make sure we were okay. I guess it's not every day he sees two guys skiing in the ditch at midnight along the parkway.